Hi, readers. It's time for reading your mini lesson. This week in reading, we are going to be reading poetry. We're also going to be visualizing. So I want you to think about your orange personal reader folders. We have lots of poems in those folders. We read those poems every day. And what do we do on Friday with that poem? That's right. We illustrate our poem to show comprehension, our understanding of what's happening in the poem. This week for reading, that's exactly what you're going to be doing. I'm going to read you a poem, and you are going to close your eyes and you're going to visualize what is happening in that poem. I'm going to read it a couple of times. We're going to talk about some of the vocabulary words. And then what you're going to do is you are going to illustrate a beautiful picture of that tells what is going on in the poem. Because guess what? This poem doesn't have any pictures. So I want you to give me your illustration for the poem. And what's going to be crazy is probably all of your illustrations are gonna look a little bit different. So I cannot wait to see them. All right, so your poem is called My Puppy Makes Pizza. Close your eyes. Visualize. My puppy makes pizza. He bakes every day. In chef hat and apron, he's quite the gourmet. He'll roll out some dough and he'll give it a toss. Then spread on a generous topping of sauce. He'll heap it with cheese and mountains of meat, but still, it's not something you'd probably eat. For though he makes pizza with obvious flair, it all ends up covered with slobber and hair. All right, you can open your eyes. Right now, you might be thinking and picturing that what's happening in that poem with the puppy making pizza in your brain. So let's picture a puppy. I have lots of puppies at my house right now. I have 8 of them. So I know puppies are slobbery, they're messy. So now I'm going to read it one more time. I want you to close your eyes again and really visualize this time. My puppy makes pizza. My puppy makes pizza. He bakes every day. In chef hat and apron, he's quite the gourmet. He'll roll out some dough and he'll give it a toss, then spread on a generous topping of sauce. He'll heap it with cheeses and mountains of meat, but still, it's not something you'd probably eat. For though he makes pizza with obvious flair, it all ends up covered with slobber and hair. This poem was written by Ken Nesbitt. So now let's talk about some of those vocabulary words. In chef hat and apron, what is a chef? Tell me what a chef is. Yeah, a chef is someone who bakes, who cooks food. Then it says he's quite the gourmet. Ooh, gourmet is a big word. What is gourmet? Who's heard of that word? Gourmet is like a connoisseur of food. The next word is generous. Then spread on a generous topping of sauce. What do you think generous means? Generous means like very willing. He puts on a lot of sauce. Heap. He'll heap it with cheeses. What is the word heap? Like pile it. He'll pile the cheeses on. Lots of cheese. The last word I want you to look at is flair. For though he makes pizza with obvious flair, what do you think flair is? With obvious flair. That means like he does it well. He makes pizza very well with obvious flair. He does it well. So now what I want you to do, I want you to go back. You're going to pause your video. You are going to read your poem, My Puppy Makes Pizza, as many times as you need to. And then what I want you to do is I want you to draw an illustration for this poem. I want you to use all the details that it gives you. It's going to be a puppy, of course. Oh, sorry, Shelby, go. He's going to have on his chef hat and apron. He's going to roll out some dough. You're going to have some sauce, some cheeses, meat. But then think about the end. What is it going to be covered in? I can't wait to see your illustrations of your poems. Submit them to me on Seesaw. All right, guys, have fun.